welcome. My name is Luann Pygott, and I'm here to speak to you from the Bible today. I'm going to read some verses and tell you my thoughts and tell you a little story. And then I'm going to sing a couple songs, and I pray that will be a blessing to you. And today, my live is entitled Working the Weakness. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what I've been doing. So for the last 6 weeks, starting June 1st, I started a little home exercise program. It's something I got from the internet. It's a woman who developed this program to do exercising. Now, I'm not much of an exerciser, but I have been losing weight and I need to get into shape. And I really hate exercise. I really hate it. They tell you to find something you like and stick with that, and I've never found anything I really like, so that's the problem. Well, I've been doing this one program. So this woman developed this program to incorporate all kinds of stretching, strength training, aerobics. It incorporates a little bit of everything. And I like that because it's supposed to be all-inclusive. Well, she has the starter. Now, you can start anywhere you want depending on your fitness level, but she has a starter video, and it's called Kickstart Restorative. And it has really been developed for people either who are completely brand new starting exercising like me, haven't been exercising in years and years and years, so I'm like a marshmallow, or is also something that she says is used for people who have an injury, who have had surgery, who had a hospital stay or something, somebody who has been through some sort of traumatic event, and then they've been bedridden, say, but it's like restorative. So I've been doing that, and I've been also working on some of the other exercises. So I do the restorative every other day, and then the in-between days I'm doing the regular. But that restorative, I've fallen in love with that restorative, because what it is, mostly is stretching. And you lay on the mat and she will have you take your arm and pull, and you pull it past the point of like where you can easily do it. Now she says you shouldn't be in pain. It shouldn't be extreme. It shouldn't be something where you are injuring yourself, but that you've got to, if you're going to stretch your muscles, you've got to go a little bit beyond the point of where it's really super easy. Because if you don't go beyond the easy point, you will never progress. You will never get anywhere, and you will never be able to stretch more than you're able to stretch now. Well, I have never been somebody that's really limber. I've never been really flexible. If you bend over, like if you bend straight over and don't bend your knees, keep your knees straight, you're supposed to be able to touch the ground. I'm lucky to get to my knees. I can barely, and I've been that way my whole life. That's not recent. I've never been able to hardly get past my knees, let alone the floor. So I have very tight tendons or something. Very, what do they call it? The things that go down the back of your legs. Those muscles back there, they're very tight. They don't have a lot of flexibility. And this is supposed to improve that. But she says to improve it, you've got to go beyond just a little bit at a time, and it shouldn't cause you extreme pain. This is one of my favorite parts of her exercise program, is that the next day I'm not laid up and can't sit or squat because it hurts. It doesn't do that to you. It can make you a little bit sore, but it's not really, really bad. But see, I'm learning a lot from this. From her, particularly that one part where she says, because I'm doing these videos, they start them over once I get done. And so I hear her say it again, that you've got to stretch beyond your normal point, but don't do it to the point where it hurts. She tells you all the time. Okay, so she'll say, take your leg and stretch your leg across over here to your body and hold, and she's find a place that's comfortable. And I laugh. And I sit and I talk to her, even though it's a video, she can't hear me. And I'm like, lady, there's no place you're comfortable. Find a place, because she doesn't want you in pain. So find a place that, you can put your legs that are comfortable. Find a place to put your arm. And I'm sitting on the mat. I'm doing all kind of this. And I'm doing, no. And I'm moving, especially in the beginning. I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm moving all around. And she's like, just find a place that's comfortable. And I'm like, it's not here. If I'm going to find a place that's comfortable, I'm going to my bed. That's where it is. And I'm like, there's not a place here that's real comfortable. But it's not painful, but it's uncomfortable. And I find the least uncomfortable spot that I have to stretch. But then what I have been finding out is when I am done, I get up, and about half an hour later, because while I'm doing it, I'm like, but when I get up, and about half an hour later, I sit on the couch and I suddenly realize I'm not hurting now. And I feel better than I did before. I'm feeling better. I haven't gotten a big improvement on the stretch yet, but it's getting a little better. Because when I've gone back through the videos again, when I start them over, because when you get done, if you wanted, you don't have to do that same program again because she's got a bunch of them, but that restorative is really helping me, so I'm doing that one again. So when I've gone over them again, I realized now I'm reaching further doing it this time than I could last time. Oh, I can bend my leg better that way than I could last time. It's barely, but that's okay. I've only done them, each one time. So I was like, this is really helping. It's really helping. And the more I do it, the better I feel afterward, which has never been the case with me in exercise. I never feel better after exercise. I exercise and am miserable. I am hot. I ache. I hurt. Everything is sore. Now, you can get a little bit sore with this, but it's not excruciating. It's not unbearable. It's not hard to bend down the next day. It's not hard to sit down the next day. It's not hard to get up. You can tell sometimes I'll put my arms in the air to put my shirt on and go, oh yeah, my arms are a little sore. Oh yeah, a little sore. But it's not excruciating pain. She's like, develop this program that gradually stretches and grows you and doesn't kill you. And she said you shouldn't have to suffer a whole lot of pain to do exercise. I'm like, oh, you are my kind of woman. You're my kind of exercise woman. So I've been doing this exercise program because it's more gentle. It's not necessarily easy though. But now the restorative one is. But the other exercises are challenging. But they don't kill you physically to do it. It's just more challenging, like challenges your balance. It challenges because you've got to hold your whole body up. And it's like, oh, I can't even hold my leg up like that. So I've been doing all of these, but I've been realizing, and I got to thinking about this, everything makes me think about something, that if you did have an injury, say you injured your left leg, usually if people have surgery, an injury, depending on what it is, if it creates an incredible weakness in your body, they send you to rehab, or they send rehab to you, or they give you exercise to do, whatever it is that usually has something to do with rehab. Now, I've never gone to rehab, but I know a little bit about it, and I do know that if you hurt your left leg, when you go to rehab, they're going to work your left leg because that's the injury. Now, they may work your whole body to make sure your whole body stays level and balanced and everything, but they're going to concentrate on working what's weak. They're going to concentrate on working what was injured. They're going to concentrate on working what needs to be worked, especially if you had like surgery. So if you had some sort of knee replacement surgery or hip replacement, you have to work that joint. If you don't, you may be stiff for the rest of your life. The thing is, that's going to hurt a whole lot more. So if you have some sort of surgery or some sort of injury that has to be corrected, if say it involves your left leg, if they move your right leg, that's not going to hurt so bad. But if they move the left leg that had the injury, that's going to hurt. Why? Because there's weakness there and there's injury there. But the one that's weak and the one that's injured is the one that needs the work. Even though you can still work the other side too, it's not going to cause the pain that the injury or the surgery side caused. The rehab is to correct and to help you with the injury, but you've got to go through a lot more pain to get past the pain. And this really made me think a lot about God and the way that he helps us and the way that he works with us and the things and the trials that we go through. And it really made me think of this. This is why I named my video Working the Weakness. That when we go through trials and we go through tests and we go through things in this life, is God putting us through that to work our weakness? Not necessarily a physical weakness. But if we have something in us that's weaker or that needs to be lifted up, that's what he's going to put us through, that's going to work that weakness. And it's going to work. And what if you've had an injury? A lot of us have had injuries, not necessarily a physical injury. We've been hurt by people, whether it's somebody in your family, whether it's somebody you're married to, whether it's your parents or your children, or it's somebody in the church, or it's somebody that, whatever. We've all had times where we've been injured. Well, you can either stay in that and let that injury be a stiff, unmovable joint for the rest of your life, or you can allow God to work it and get you out of that, which is going to hurt a lot. You say, well, I've already been hurt. Well, that's what happens when you say break your arm. Oh, no, don't bother my arm. It hurts. It's already hurt. Let's don't hurt it more. When it's been hurt, that's what you got to do to get it better, is hurt it more. That's how it works. And you've got to break up the calcium or whatever it is, the cartilage or whatever it is that's growing and binding to it gets in bondage. And you've got to break up what's binding it to get it past that level of pain. And I really think this is a lot of what God does when we go through trials and we go through things that are upsetting us and things that are hurting us. When you notice a pain or a hurt in you personally, that's a weakness. It's either something that was injured in the past or it's just a weakness. Because, when we all grow, we don't have, everything doesn't grow the same. Everything doesn't grow perfect. Everything doesn't grow strong. We all have things that are weaker. Some people have like weak ankles. Some people have weak wrists, or some people have weakness. There's just an inherent weakness in them. And some people have, you broke your ankle. So now you have a weak ankle. So it could be always have been that way, or it could have been from an injury or something. But when we have a weakness, I believe God allows us to go through things to strengthen that specific area. So if you say, why am I always being attacked with this thing? Why is this attack always coming against me? Why is this same thing always coming against me? Probably because that's your weakness. That's a weak spot you have. Now, does that mean, you're just a terrible person because you have that weak spot? No, other people have that weak spot too, or they have a different one. Everybody has something because we don't grow perfectly strong in every area all at the same time. So if God is focusing on an area that you have that's a weak spot, he may allow something. Why does that keep coming against me? Maybe that's what he's bringing or allowing. God doesn't bring bad stuff to us, but he may be allowing it to try. You may be in rehab for that thing. And if you keep pulling back and saying, no, don't hurt me there again, don't hurt me there again, you may never get out of it. You may never get out of that hurt. He may be allowing it to break you free of it, but you're going to have to go through pain to get beyond it. So let me read some Bible verses that have a lot, I think, to do with some of this. 1 Timothy 4:7-8 and 15-16 says, have nothing to do with irreverent, silly myths. Rather, train yourself for godliness. For while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. I love that part right there because it tells you that godliness has promise for this life as well. So we shouldn't have to feel like, man, we just got to wait for everything in heaven. Everything God's promised us, it'll just all come in heaven. No, not everything is for heaven. God promised us blessings here as well. It says it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. It's both. He wants to bless us and improve our lives while we're here as well. It's never going to be perfect here because it's not a perfect world, but that doesn't mean he can't bring us blessings. It says practice these things. Immerse yourself in them so that all may see your progress. Keep a close watch on yourself and on the teaching. I love this line. Listen to this. Persist in this, for by doing so, you will save both yourself and your hearers. This, I would say, is a pretty big goal of mine. I've never defined it before until I was seeing this the other day. I'm like, yep, this is me. Persist in training of godliness. This is what he's talking about. Train yourself in godliness. Persist in training yourself in godliness, and you will not only save yourself, you will save your hearers. I want you as my hearer to be saved too. You think I want to be saved all by myself? I want to drag everybody by the hand that I can and save everybody that can be saved. If you are hearing me and I am persisting in training of godliness, I want you to be saved with me. And anybody else, everybody, to be saved. Me and my hearers. Habakkuk 3:19 says, God the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. There's a book I read years ago. I love this book. It is so touching. It's so interesting. Called Hind's Feet on High Places. The original version of this talks, it says, he makes my feet like the feet of a hind. H-I-N-D. A hind is another word for deer. And they climb on real high rocky mountains and are sure-footed when they get there. Well, that book, Hinds Feet on High Places, is an allegory. And it's the story of a girl who starts out and she's lame. And God comes to her, the shepherd. She calls him the shepherd. The shepherd comes to her and says, I want you to dance with me on the mountain. She can't even hardly walk. I want you to dance with me on the mountain. And so he says, you start this path right here, and then I'm going to tell you which way to go. If you come to a fork in the road, I'm going to tell you where to go. She comes to a fork in the road, and he sends her. One is a straight, easy path. Lit path, no obstructions, shorter path. She's like, oh, well, that must be the way I'm supposed to go. He appears and says, no, I want you to go to this other path. The other path was through the swamp, through the woods, in the dark. It was rocky. It was not smooth. It was had a lot of roots in it. Like, think of a rough path through the woods. He said, no, I want you to go through that path. And she's like, well, why do I got to go through that path? I don't want to go through that path. Why do I have to come here? And he not only sent her down that path, he kind of left her there. Now, he was always watching her, but she didn't know it. But she went down this path, and it always made me think of, if you watched The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy and the people with her went into the woods right before the flying monkeys came, and it said, turn back, danger. And this is what I picture when she went down this path. That she was in the dark woods, or Snow White running through the dark woods. She was in the dark. It was lonely. It was gloomy. She was scared of everything. She was tripping over the stuff. She's like, why would he send me down this path? Because he knows I can hardly walk. He knows I'm lame. I have an injured, she had injured, I think it had been from birth in this story, injured, weak legs. She could barely walk. He sent her down the hard path. And she complained and she lamented and she cried. He doesn't care about me. The shepherd does not love me. He sent me down this hard path. There was an easy path. It was right there. An easy path. It was smooth. It was straight. It was shorter. It was well lit. There were people there. I wouldn't have been alone. Why did he make me go this way? I don't even know where I am. I feel like I'm lost. It's dark down here. I'm tripping over the roots in the ground. There's rocks that are hurting my feet. Everything. My feet are hurting so bad. And she complained, why did you send me this hard path? Why did you send me down this hard path? And he wasn't there. He was watching her, but he wasn't answering her. Why did you have to send me? And she goes through several things in this story. And when she gets to the end, she gets to the base of the mountain, and the shepherd meets her there and says, I want you to come to the mountain with me and dance with me now. And he takes her up to the mountain, and she suddenly realizes she's not lame anymore. Her feet don't hurt anymore. She's not tripping anymore. She looked back on the path that she had walked and realized by him sending her on the hard path, he had strengthened her legs. He had strengthened her feet. He had strengthened everything about her. And if he had sent her the easy way, when she got to the mountain and joined him, she wouldn't have been able to dance with him. She couldn't have even climbed the mountain. She couldn't have danced. She was lame. But by sending her on that really hard path, down that really hard way, even though she didn't understand it and she didn't know why, every step she took, every time she tripped, every rock that hurt her foot, every stump that she tripped over strengthened her legs more. She just didn't know it because it was so gradual. And when she got to the end, she wasn't lame anymore. She was strong. And he sent her purposely, not because he wanted her life to be hard, but because he wanted to dance with her on the mountain, because he loved her. And when she got to the end of that hard path, she could do what he wanted her to do, because every hard step had strengthened her. Now, I know I just told you that story, but if you get that book, read it anyway. It's a magnificent book. Isaiah 40:29 says he gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. But how does he do it? How does he give us power? How does he give us strength? How does he make my feet like a deer's, like I said in Habakkuk? How does he make me to tread on high places? If we're weak, he's got to make us strong. How does he make us strong? It might be through trials. It might be through pain. It might be through something that's making us stronger gradually that we don't even notice. You know, we pray and ask God, give me power, give me strength, increase my strength. But you know, if you have a weak leg and you say to the doctor, I need this leg, I need it to be stronger, my knee's giving way, he's going to send you to rehab. to work it out, and it's going to hurt. And you're going to say, why did I ask for this? I think I'm okay with the weak leg. But that's the only way. It's the only way to strengthen and give power, is to work what is weak and to stress what is weak. And that's how it gains strength. Isaiah 43, 1-3 says, "But now thus says the Lord, He who created you, O Jacob, He who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." This is how much He cares for us. "When you pass through the waters," notice He didn't say if you pass through the waters. He said when. That means we're passing through waters. There's going to be hard times. And it's not just hard times because there's hard times. I really think it's meant to strengthen us. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you." That's even if you don't see Him. "And you pass through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you." Why is this? Because He is there and He's strengthening you through it, not to take you out of it necessarily, but to pass you through it. That doesn't mean it's going to be there forever, but some things aren't removed from our life. And if they were, we would be weak little marshmallows. And we hate the rehab, and we hate the exercise, and we hate the pain. But that can be what He's using to make us strong. It says, "For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior." Is that what He's using to save us? One of the things. 1 Peter 4:12 says, "Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you." Notice again, it does not say if it comes. It says, don't be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. It's going to come, but look at it as working for something good. 1 Peter 5:10. "And the God of all grace, who called you to His eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will Himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast." That is what I really is my version, my view of what rehab is. You suffer through that. You're suffering for a little while, but after you get through it, you are going to be strong and firm and steadfast. Romans 8:18 says, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." And I always viewed that we just got to put up with this suffering right now, and eventually we're going to have glory instead. And that's true, but I think do we ever look at the fact that the present suffering is what is bringing the glory? That is what is working it in us, is the suffering. It's not just, well, I just have to put up with this until God takes it away. Instead, look at it that, this is working something in me. This is working strength in me that I didn't have before. Romans 5:3-6 says, "Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings." Can you do that? That can be hard. "We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance. And endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. For while we were still weak, at the right time, Christ died for the ungodly." The suffering, you can actually rejoice in suffering. I know it's not easy to do because I have a real hard time of doing that. But it's producing endurance. And endurance is what allows us to gain strength. Mark 4:17 says, now this is talking about Mark 4, the farmer sowing the seeds on the different soil. And it's talking about one that was sown by the wayside. And it says, "But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away." If you are not allowing this work in you, if you're not allowing God to strengthen you through and with whatever trials you are in, you are not going to have any root. You are going to only last a short time. Not because of the suffering, but you're going to be weak. If you do not allow God to use it to strengthen you, you're only going to last a short time. You will have no strength. You will have no strength at all. And when trouble and persecution come, you're just going to fall. Oh, bye. But the thing is, you're not going to have an easy life if you leave this. You're not going to have an easy life. It's going to be hard, but you're not even going to have God then. You've got to, this is one of the things this does, allow this so you'll have root. And when you have root, you're stronger. Something with deep roots is very strong. So I'm going to sing a couple of choruses here. These are real easy choruses. Now, I just had to write these down. I don't know the years of these or anything. One is called Change My Heart, Oh God. It's a really pretty chorus. I think I heard it on a kid's video probably years ago. Change My Heart, Oh God. And the other one is called Made Me Glad. I always call this other one You Are My Shield, because You Are My Shield is the first part of the chorus. But it's actually named Made Me Glad. So it very interesting. They just already happen to be in the same key. I love when they're in the same key because they're so much easier to play together. Change my heart, oh God, make it ever true. Change my heart, oh God, may I be like you. Change my heart, oh God, make it ever true. Change my heart, oh God, may I be like you. You are the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me, this is what I pray. Change my heart, oh God, make it ever true. Change my heart, oh God, may I be like you. You are the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me, this is what I pray. Change my heart, oh God, make it ever true. Change my heart, oh God, may I be like you. I will bless the Lord forever. I will trust Him at all times. He has delivered me from all fear. He has set my feet upon a rock, and I will not be moved, and I'll say of the Lord, You are my shield, my strength, my portion, deliverer, my shelter, strong tower, my very present help in time of need. I will bless the Lord forever. I will trust Him at all times. He has delivered me from all fear. He has set my feet upon a rock, and I will not be moved, and I'll say of the Lord, James 1, 2 through 4 says, "Consider it wholly joyful, my brethren, whenever you are enveloped in or encounter trials of any sort or fall into various temptations. Be assured and understand that the trial and proving of your faith bring out endurance and steadfastness and patience. But let endurance and steadfastness and patience have full play, and do a thorough work, so that you may be people perfectly and fully developed, with no defects, lacking in nothing." To me, where this says, let endurance and steadfastness and patience have full play, is like saying, if you're going to rehab because you have a weak area of your body through injury or just an inherent born weakness, let the endurance you have to go through, the work you have to go through, the stress you have to go through, let it have its full work, so that it can produce in you what you need it to produce. James 1 and 12 said, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial. For when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." If you're going through the trial, let it do what God wants it to do in you, and just be steadfast. If you stand steadfast under trial, you're getting a crown of life. And finally, Genesis 50:20. This is about Joseph. Joseph and the coat of many colors Joseph. When his brothers sold him into slavery, and he went to Egypt, and he lived there for many years, and they were all starving later. The whole world was starving, and they came to Egypt for food. And his brothers, when they finally found out it was Joseph they were talking to, and they're like, "Oh no, he's going to kill us because of what we did." This is what he says to them: "You intended to harm me." Everything they had done to him, putting him into slavery. And then he not only was in slavery, he was falsely accused of attacking the wife of his slave owner, the owner of him, and he didn't do it, but he was put in prison, could have been killed there. Everything he'd been put through. He's told his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." God used Joseph to save the known world at that time. And it says, "You put me through a lot of things, and you intended to harm me, but God allowed it." God allowed me to go through all of this so I could grow and become the person that I am, that has able now. So now what is being done could be done, which was saving many lives. So if God is putting you through something, or allowing you to go through something, see, now God didn't put Joseph through that. God didn't do it, but he used it. And it says the brothers did it to him, but he used everything he went through to create him into a very strong leader. And when he was there, he saved everyone in the world with food because of the famine. Whatever you are going through at this time, allow God to work whatever weakness you have, or whatever injury you have, or whatever in your body needs to be stronger, because when you allow him to do that, you may be saving many lives. So whatever he is doing with what you are going through right now, trust that he is there watching you, caring for you, taking care of you through it. And if you allow it, he will use it to make you stronger. And you may save many lives through what he has done. Not only save your own life, but save many, many others as well. And I hope that you will trust him through whatever you're going through this week. And I pray that you will be blessed. And until next week, may you have a good evening. Good night.